Where do you find a landscape where colors cascade into the backdrop of animated silence of the wilderness? Where do you find a land with a wealth of ancient treasures of biodiversity and indigenous knowledge base? Where do you find a place which is mystically intriguing? Come to Karbi Anglong. This is where our team visited for a short while and ended up staying for a much longer period. There was so much left to see, so much more to learn, but time acted as a deterrent and we had to bid farewell with a heavy heart. At the same time, we harbored a strong hope of revisiting this magical land and be consumed by the ethereal bliss once again. Our unforgettable experiences, captured in terabytes of visual memories, will help to enlighten those that are still unaware of the pristine beauty of the Hills District. Let us hear from the Principal Chief Conservator of Forest, Dr. Abhijit Rabha, distinguished Indian Forest Service personnel.
Autonomous District of Karbi Anglong is a centrally located place and indeed is a part of the great Indo-Myanmar biodiversity hotspot. It is the last frontier of everything, of biodiversity, of the tiger habitat, of so many things that you might even not imagine of. 70% of the forest area is occupied in a major way by the uncasted forest, followed by the district council reserve forest, and then by our state reserve forests. We have a long area under forest along the boundary also in the eastern sector bordering Nagaland. About the wildlife, we have got 5 sanctuaries in this district, covering about 19% of the total reserve forest area, and we have one still to be declared, that is Project Tiger.
The water of the Jamuna flows to a cascade called the Silbheta, a drop of about 200 feet below. Our flying camera captures some of the wonderful visuals which will turn to words now. The flow of water is akin to the flow of life. The more pristine it is, the more powerful is its meaning. It is a life giver. The Jamuna, flowing by the side of the Serpentine National Highway, indicates the coexistence of modernity and the pristine nature. The natural resources are a blessing to humanity and require to be utilized with utmost care for posterity. Human beings have to share these resources as brothers. They have to do away with whatever physical boundaries that exist. Karbi Anglong, spanning more than 10,000 square kilometers in geographical expanse, is one of the largest districts of India. It is larger than the state of Tripura, one of our neighboring states. To conserve and manage the renewable and non-renewable sources of energy, we found the Autonomous Council of Karbi Anglong district. It was already vested with huge forest cover and an immeasurable amount of biodiversity. Forest was one of the oldest subjects over which the council was bestowed with rule-making powers. We were informed that there is indeed a Department of Environment and Forest run on scientific lines. There flows the upstream Kopili River, a geological fault that runs along the riverbed.
Hello there. What a glorious day, isn't it? The sunshine over my shoulders and a pretty cool shadow from this hazel tree over my head. And to my right, there flows the river Kopili. Over there, there's something called Kajali Mukh, where the hordes of ancient attackers tried to enter through this confluence of the river Kopili with the river Brahmaputra to attack the upper Assam kingdom of the Rajas. And of course, the combined might of the tribal leaders and soldiers really defeated them from the intrusion in this pristine territory. Now, as you can see, with a boat traveling out there, and you can see the boat activity quite going good here. It indicates a lot of fish activities here, but it is not so up there because of the tremendous acidity developing from the Kopili Dam. That is a different story, although. But let's go back 300 kilometers up there. The Shillong Plateau is separated by the mighty river, which is quite a wide valley. And for here, we are here today to tell you a story of a valley and also a geological fault that separates the Shillong Valley with the Karbi Massif, of two divided entities of Karbi Anglong and its biodiversity and so on. Please come with me to learn about that quite newly again.
The fault confluences near Kajali Mukh, waiting for that unfortunate someday to shake the entire landscape with a mega tremor. However, in Hamran district, it is business as usual. The district is a part of the geological formation named the Shillong Plateau. It also falls under seismic zone 5. The simplicity and natural beauty hides any threats or concerns. The plateau is advancing about 9 nanometer every year towards northeasterly direction. We looked around to find how the officers of the Forest Department take help from the community to reforest the areas once lost to the slash and burn cultivation, popularly known as chuming. Contrary to common notion, this practice is very ancient and totally organic. Unless the rotation is short and the place is steeper than 30 degrees, there is no harm to the ecology. No agricultural inputs are required. The production being purely organic, it has served the health of the people largely. The geology and the geography of the area have made it a treasure trove of rare and endangered flora and fauna. Services of the vegetation-bound ecosystem service to humanity, or briefly, the ecosystem services. Such services cannot be purchased with dollars or euro currencies, or even with our own Indian rupee. Even billions and zillions will fade at the sheer magnanimity of the priceless ecosystem. The air we breathe, the trees that recycle our life by sustaining oxygen and make the river flowing perennially, bereft of flood. Indeed, they happen because of the hills. Hills, which are even older than our distant ancestors, are sources of life. Yes, indeed, hills for life. However, the renewable resources like the timber trees and the non-timber forest produce are required for human welfare. Therefore, care should be taken not to engulf them all to satisfy our greed, or else the priceless forest wealth will disappear and an insurmountable catastrophe will devour us all. Now we look towards the north, beyond the banks of the Kopili River. We are in the extended part of the Shillong Plateau. It is called the Karbi Massif, at the beginning of which we are welcomed by the sight of the gorgeously standing hal trees at Doboka, which is the eastern limit of the tree species. The western limit is found in the Mohand area of Uttarakhand near Dehradun. The entry to the district is through the gate at Parokhua. We have a long way to travel to reach the other end of the road. At Manja Tri-Junction, we travel southwards to reach the forest headquarters at Diffu, which is also the district headquarters. We need to know from the persons responsible for such wonderful management of landscapes. Located in somnolent surroundings, the Divisional Forest Office of the Karbi Anglong West Forest Territorial Division looks after the Jamuna, Diffu and part of Dhansiri Valley, which are all replete with forest cover. The imposing wireless antenna does what it can to gather information in real time. Next to it is the office of the Additional Principal Chief Conservator of Forest, who is now elevated to the post of the First Principal Chief Conservator of Forest. Monitoring the airwaves with a wireless receiver and the weather with the weather station sensors, breaking the unknown cipher keeps the lone man busy. Now we peek into the GIS Lab, the Center of Resource Management.
Small circle of Karbi Anglong. The rainfall is not be there tomorrow. Very harsh sunshine is indicated by my computer. No traces of rainfall either. We haven't had any rainfall for past 24 hours, even beyond that. Rainfall was only enough last week to dredge a small 1 hectare plot of land with 3,000 liters of water from the skies. There's no good breeze, no wind. Temperature is climbing up to 37 degrees Celsius. And humidity is too high, oh my God. And that's what my forestry life is. Environment and forests.
Principles of management of forest and wildlife are quite different.
We follow a dictum: conservation without boundary. The animals, the skies, they don't respect any political boundary. And animals must have the way to survive in their own mode of living. That's why we have maintained a great